So today we'll be taking a look at some issues with the tag team divisions, some Braun Strowman news, Roman Reigns, and more. Let's start things off with the women's division. The issue that we were all discussing a few months ago has once again come back up, and that's the fact that the women's tag team division has been completely wiped out. The first took place earlier this year during the early waves of WWE releases. There was a decent 3 or 4 teams in the women's tag team division, but then the first wave of releases happened and it left the women's tag team division completely depleted. With the release of Ruby Riott, that eliminated the team of the Riott Squad. Then Lana was released, which put an end to Lana and Naomi's tag team. The only tag team left in the title picture was Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, but Mandy was later sent to NXT, which broke up that tag team as well. The women's tag team titles were also excluded from NXT once NXT got their own tag team titles, so that really shrunk the division down even more. So the women's tag team division has basically been teetering on being non-existent all year long. And now, with the WWE draft, WWE has put themselves right back in the position of having no team left in the women's tag team division. The draft split up the remaining teams in the division of Shotzi and Nox and Natalya and Tamina, which has left fans really baffled. As of this very moment, there is only one team in the women's tag team division, and that's the champions themselves, Nikki and Rhea Ripley, which is pretty sad and confusing. Shotzi and Nox were called up together as a team to basically fix this issue and add more depth to the division. They picked up a few wins over the champions a few months ago, but that story and feud never really went anywhere. They ended up just doing some backstage segments with their tank over the last few months. Then most recently we saw them come up and confront Nikki and Rhea, but the next week they're broken up in the draft, so just very confusing and extremely hard to follow. When it comes to things with the women's tag team division, it just really is hard to understand. It feels like it's getting forgotten and not a priority at all. Especially the fact that they break up tag teams when they only have 3 teams to begin with is impossible to comprehend. So as it stands right now, Rhea and Nikki have absolutely no one to feud with. So chances are we'll see some random tag teams get thrown together in the coming weeks. Zelina Vega and Carmella have been working closely with each other lately, so that's probably a good possibility for a team, but you obviously need more than just 2 teams in the tag team division. So it's impossible to understand why they keep breaking up tag teams in a division that's already so thin. But that's how things are right now. Hopefully things change and more attention goes towards establishing this division. A very big topic of discussion that has been going around for a while is the topic of who will finally dethrone Roman Reigns as Universal Champion. With his reign now being over 400 days, it gets harder and harder by the day to name possible opponents who would be capable of dethroning him. Last time we had a reign this long was Brock Lesnar, with his 500-day title reign a few years ago. Strangely enough, it was in fact Roman Reigns who put an end to the Brock Lesnar reign. Then we had CM Punk's WWE title reign that was over 400 days and ended due to a big return from The Rock. So long reigns like this, 400 days plus, 500 day plus, always end in some epic fashion. That's what fans are expecting for the end of Roman's title reign. The expectations for who will dethrone him continues to grow by the day. Booker T recently weighed in and talked about his 2 picks to knock off Roman Reigns. For me, it's been talking about this for a minute now. To beat Roman Reigns, you gotta really make that a moment. I always say with moments, you only get a chance to have it one time, and it goes away pretty much as far as these kinds of situations. Undertaker's streak being broken, stuff like that. For me, you gotta look at Brock Lesnar. Could he be the guy? Of course. But for me, I'm looking to make somebody in big fashion, in a huge way. And there again, man, I look at that kid, Walter, and I say, he's a star. He's what wrestling is today. So that's another great candidate and pick there by Booker T. Walter is one of NXT's biggest attractions, and has big star written all over him. It's something new, someone Roman is unfamiliar with, so he could pull the big upset off as well. Other fans are looking at either Jimmy or Jay to dethrone Roman Reigns. Here is Roman Reigns trying to keep his title away from everyone, but the individual who will take it from him is standing right beside him in his own locker room. That would be interesting. Not to mention that that's exactly how Roman's title reign first started off. Roman's first ever title defense of this current reign was against Jay. So how bizarre would it be for his last defense to once again be Jay, and Jay actually pulls off the win? It would be a very full circle moment there for sure. Jimmy and Jay dethroning Roman is interesting because if you go back and look at Roman's first ever pinfall loss on the main roster, guess who pinned him for the first time ever? It was Jimmy and Jay. So that's a great ending for Roman's title reign as well. The individual who's been helping him keep the title ends up being the one who takes the title from him. Sort of similar to Bayley and Sasha's story. Bayley was this cocky heel champion on a historically long reign, but it was mostly due to Sasha saving her title reign time and time again. And look how that story ended. Sasha ended up being the one to end Bayley's reign after originally being the one that helped her keep it going. So, same thing for Jimmy and Jay. They helped Roman all this time, but they could still be the ones to dethrone him as well. So it's something to keep an eye on, and something to worry about if you're Roman Reigns. Could the fall of the bloodline be the fall of his title reign as well? Control Your Narrative recently spoke with former WWE superstar Braun Strowman, and he opened up about a handful of topics. One of the things he discussed was collapsing in his home last year due to some sort of crazy working schedule he was going through in WWE. He had this to say during that interview. The cinematic match I had with Bray Wyatt, they say it's the worst match of the year, the worst thing I've ever seen. People don't have a clue what went into doing that. I worked for 28 hours straight trying to get this out to the fans. Get a product out to get people to take their mind off what's going on in the world. I went to work the next day after filming it, wrestled on television. I got home that night at 12 at night, was taking a shower, and collapsed in my house. I had to get an ambulance come and get me from my house because I collapsed from dehydration. I went into full body cramps. They double pulled me on the way to the emergency room. I took 4 liters of fluid to get myself to stop cramping, and to have to sit there and listen to people just criticize and naysay. It made me hate everything. So he went through such a scary experience because of how he was working and trying to get things out for the fans. So imagine working that hard and seeing people call the match the worst thing ever. You're going to feel horrible. A lot of fans have mixed reactions on the cinematic matches, but they were a lot of fun and provided us with great moments, especially the swamp fight. We had a chance to revisit the old Eater of Worlds persona for Bray Wyatt. Braun faced off against his former self. We had the first teaser of the Dark Alexa Bliss, and the Fiend re-emerged during that match as well. So it's just very unfortunate to see what he had to go through, and then dealing with negative fans on top of that as well. But everyone is looking forward to Strowman's return to the ring. Maybe he could even reunite with Bray Wyatt down the road as well. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.